Hello and welcome everyone to this lecture of mathematics. In this particular part, we will study about coordinate geometry. Now already we have seen some basics of coordinate geometry in the basic videos that I made earlier. But then this chapter is strictly about coordinate geometry and we are going to learn in depth about straight lines. So before we start the topic of straight lines, we will have a quick revision of what we studied in the basics of coordinate geometry. The first thing that we got to know is the coordinate plane, and we all know that this is the x-axis, the positive, and this is the minus x-axis. This is the positive y-axis and this is the negative y-axis. Now that we know this, any point which is found in the first quadrant is of the form plus plus. That means the x and y coordinates are going to be positive in nature. For the second quadrant, it's going to be something like this. That is, the x coordinate is located as minus and the y coordinate is positive. In the third quadrant, it's minus and minus. And in the fourth quadrant, it is plus and minus. That is, the sign of y coordinate is negative. Now there are some other names for x and y coordinate which are popular. So x coordinate is known as abscissa, and y coordinate is also known as ordinate. So these are the two other names that are used in coordinate geometry. Now that we have studied this, we also have studied about distance formula. So if there are 2 points given to us, we know that, let's say x1 y1 is this point and x2 y2 is the other point. We know how to find the distance between these 2 points. So the distance formula is given as d is equal to root over of x1 minus x2 the whole square plus y1 minus y2 the whole square. This is how the distance formula is given. Then we have also learned something called as section formula. Now we will learn this particular formula in detail. Let's say that these are the 2 points x1 y1 and this is another point x2 and y2. Let's say that there is a point which divides the line segment in the ratio m is to n, and let this point be x comma y. Then with the help of section formula we can get what this point is. So x comma y is given as m x2, so this m into x2 plus n times x1 divided by m plus n. This is the x, and the y is given as m y2 plus n y1 by m plus n. This is called the internal division formula. So this formula is for internal division. Likewise, there is another formula for external division also. Let us see what that is. Let's say now we have the same points, just that x1 y1 is here, x2 y2, this is x2 y2, and the point which divides them is over here. So this point is x comma y. Now this ratio from here to here, from here to here, this is m is to n. So if I say this is OAB, we have the ratio OB by AB in the ratio m is to n. Now that we have been given this, we have to write the coordinate. So x comma y for external division would be given as mx2 minus nx1 by m minus n, and my2 minus ny1 by m minus n. That's how it is given to us. Let's solve some problems based on this concept. so that the application of formula is clear. Now here is a problem which states that there are 2 points and the line segment which connects these 2 points is divided in the ratio 2:3. We have to find that particular point which divides it in the ratio 2:3. So this is -1, 7, 4, -3. So this is that point x, y, and this divides the line segment in the ratio 2:3. So first we'll apply the formula for x. X is given as mx2, that is 3 into -1 plus 2 into 4 divided by 3 plus 2. So the answer to this would be -3, 8, that is 5 by 5, which comes out as 1. So x coordinate is 1 and y coordinate would be 2 into -3 plus 3 into 7 divided by 3 plus 2, which comes out to -3, 21. This comes to 15 by 5, which is 3. So the point that we want over here, x, y, is given as 1, 3. That is the answer to this question. So 1, 3 divides the line segment in the ratio 2:3. Now we have a problem in front of us which states that these are the coordinates of a quadrilateral, and without using distance formula we have to prove that this is a parallelogram. Now if you have to prove it into a parallelogram, that can be done with the use of distance formula as well. But then without using distance formula, with the use of section formula, we have to prove that this is a parallelogram. Now how do we do that? It's very simple. You can see that this is one diagonal, so this is the center point of it, and we can find the center point of it with the help of midpoint formula. So if I use the midpoint formula over here, that is -3 plus 4 by 2, comma 0 plus 2 by 2, we get it as this is half comma 1. This is the center point. And then if I use the same midpoint formula for this diagonal, then I find that it should be the same point. If it comes out to be the same point, it means that it's a parallelogram. These are the vertices of a parallelogram. So let's see what it is. So it's going to be -2 plus 3 by 2 and -1 plus 3 divided by 2, which means that this is going to be half comma again 1. Now the point is coinciding, it's a common center, and hence we can say that it's a parallelogram. The next question is something like this. There is a line segment, and for this particular line segment we have to find the points of trisection. So this is one point of trisection. That means we have to find these 2 points because they divide the line segment into 3 equal halves, 3 equal parts. So here let's say this is A, this is B, and this is O and this is P. So at a time I have to consider only one. So let's say first time we'll take A. If I consider A, it means that the ratio m:2n is going to be 1:2. So this is one point of trisection. Let's say that we have to find first x. So x, y, x would be given as 1 into 4 plus 2 into 2 divided by 1 plus 2, comma -3 into 2 plus -1 into 1 divided by 3. So this is x, y, and we would achieve it as 4 plus 4, 8, 8 by 3. So 8 by 3 is one point. The other point is -1 minus 6, that's -7 by 3. So this is one point. Next point of trisection would be very simple, just that now the ratios would be shifted. So this is the point A. Let's do the same process for point B as well. So if I do the same process for point B, it means that now the x comma y is here and the ratio is going to be 2:1 because this is a bigger part, so it's going to be 2:1, and then this is 2:1. That means the point is going to be 2 into 4 plus 1 into 2 divided by 3, comma 1 into minus 3 plus 2 into minus 1 divided by 3. So the answer that comes over here is 10 by 3, comma minus 5 by 3. So that is the answer in the second case. So this is point B. So this is how we can find the points of trisection. The next question is to find a centroid of the triangle. So we have to find the centroid. This is another concept. How do we do that? So the formula is really simple. All that we have to do is to find x1 plus x2 plus x3 by 3, and the other one would be y1 plus y2 plus y3 by 3. So what is the centroid? Centroid is a point where all the three medians meet. So in this case, this is going to be the centroid. Normally centroid is given by the letter G. So G would be given as this. So in this case, G would be 1 plus 3 plus 2 divided by 3, comma 3 minus 5 plus 5 divided by 3. So answer would be 2, comma 1. That is the answer in this case. Let's see the next set of concepts. The next thing is about collinearity. When do we say that the 3 points are collinear? Now 3 points are collinear when they are lying along the same line, A, B, C. Now as far as this line is concerned, we can always say that AB plus BC is equal to AC. So this is what we can surely say as far as collinearity is concerned. Now let's take an example to understand how this works. Let's say that 1 comma minus 1, the second point is 5 comma 2, and the third point is 9 comma 5. We have to check whether these points are collinear or not. Now all that we have to do is we have to mark these points A, B, C, and then we have to check whether AB plus BC is AC. So let's find the distances AB, BC and AC. So AB, in this case the distance is going to be 1 minus 5 the whole square is minus 1 minus 2 the whole square, which comes out as 4 square, that is 16, and 16 plus 9, that's 25, so that's 5. And then BC, the distance BC in this case is going to be 5 minus 9 the whole square plus 2 minus 5 the whole square. So this is going to be like 4 square, that's 16, and then this is going to be 9 again. So again it comes out to be 5. And then if you check out this is going to be 8 square, that's 64. That is the AC part. Now I am doing the AC part. So it's going to be 1 minus 9 the whole square minus 1 minus 5 the whole square. So this is going to be 64 plus 36, which is root 100, and this is going to be 10. So here in this case we can clearly say that 5 plus 5 is equal to 10, which means that this condition is satisfied. And this way we can check whether these 3 points are collinear. In this case they are collinear. The next concept is about area of triangle. How do you find area of triangle if we have the coordinates of that particular triangle? Let us see. Let's say that this is the triangle that we are talking about, and the coordinates are as follows: x1, y1, x2, y2, and x3, y3. If we have to find the area of this particular triangle, then we use the concept of determinant that we have learned in the concept of cross product. In vector product, if you have to find a vector product of two vectors, then what do? We find the determinant. So we are going to arrange this determinant as follows. So area will be half of this determinant: x1, y1, 1, x2, y2, 1, and x3, y3, 1. So this is what we do, and ultimately we come to a formula from this. Let's derive that formula from this particular case. So if we solve this determinant, we are going to get x1 half times, so half is there outside, x1 times y2 minus y3, then minus y1 times x2 minus x3, and plus 1 times this x2 y3 minus x3 y2. That's what we get. Let us see after rearranging what we get. So if we rearrange this particular formula, then we would get the answer as half times x1 times y2 minus y3 plus x2 times y3 minus y1, and then x3 times y1 minus y2. So you can clearly remember this with a logic. If 1 comes for x1, then it's going to be 2 and 3 for y. If 2 comes for x, then it's going to be 3 and 1 for y. And lastly, if 3 is there for x, then 1 and 2 for y. So all of them are in a particular sequence in a particular chronological order, as you can see. So this is the formula for area of the triangle. Now one logic, one relation between collinearity and area of the triangle is that if the 3 points are collinear, then you can clearly say that area of the triangle is 0. So we can use this result for solving problems. Let's take one problem of this kind. So the question is as follows. We have been given these kind of points, k comma 2 minus 2k. This is the first point. Second point is minus k plus 1 comma 2k, and third point is going to be minus 4 minus k comma 6 minus 2k. These are the 3 points, and we have to find that k for which these 3 points are collinear. So if that's the case, then for sure we can say that determinant of these 3 points is going to be 0, because obviously if you want the 3 points to be collinear, then the area of the triangle has to be 0. So let's put up the condition: half times this determinant k, 2 minus 2k and 1. Second one is going to be minus k plus 1, 2k and 1, and the third point is going to be minus 4 minus k, 6 minus 2k and 1. This determinant is going to be 0. Now if this determinant is going to be 0, then this half has no role to play over here, because half cannot be 0. And then now let's find the product of this determinant. So it's going to be k into 2k into 1, 2k into 1 minus this 6 minus 2k. Then it's going to be this minus of 2 minus 2k into 1 minus k minus of minus 4 minus k. And lastly it's going to be plus 1 into 1 minus k into 6 minus 2k minus 1 into this part, 2k into this. Let's simplify this further. and see what answer we get. So now simplifying this particular expression, let us see what we get. So in the first bracket, as you can clearly see, it's going to be this minus 6 minus 2k. So minus 6 plus 2k, 4k minus 6 is what we get. Second bracket is going to contain 2 outside and 1 minus k inside, and here is going to be 1 plus 4, that's 5, and then this is going to be minus k plus k, which is going to vanish. So that's it for the second one. And then we have this bracket as well. Let us see what we get out of it. So simplifying this, we are going to get 6 minus 2k minus 6k plus 2k square. And then the second bracket is going to have, if we take this minus sign outside and this minus sign, this minus and this minus will become plus, and whatever product we'll get over here will be plus. So it's going to be 8k plus 2k square. So ultimately, let us see what we get. So simplifying this further, I'm going to get 6 minus 8k straight away over here plus 2k square. So 8k and 8k cancels, and what we get is 2k square, 2k square. So ultimately this is going to be 4k square over here. So next, 4k square minus 6k minus 10 plus 10k, then plus 6 plus 4k square. This is equal to 0. So 4k square and 4k square will give me 8k square, plus 10k minus 6k will give me plus 4k, and lastly minus 10 plus 6 is going to give me minus 4. This is equal to 0. So ultimately 2k square plus k minus 1 is 0. If we solve this quadratic, then the answer that we get is going to be half and minus 1. So the two values that we get are half and minus 1. That is the answer to this question.